want to talk about a couple things today involving guitar maintenance, maybe a little pickup height talk for Stratocasters. With my 59 Strat, I had a weird noise going on. It was like a little bit of a buzz, and I couldn't figure it out. I had just recently, when I was recovering from surgery, I refretted the guitar with stainless jumbo frets, or a little under jumbo, probably like a 6100 size. And all that was good, and I instantly noticed a vast improvement in the clarity of the note. It wasn't necessarily bright or anything like that. It was just a really clear note, and that's something I always wanted, playing like a heavier string with a Strat. But over the last maybe week, I started getting this weird, like a rattle, and it wasn't a rattle like if your saddles were loose or something was loose on the guitar. It was kind of choking out the string, kind of not. So I knew I had something, with too much clearance, and it was making some noise. But how I determined the nut, it was an issue at the nut, was a few steps that I followed. And maybe today I can give you guys some tips on some really important must-have tools to basically, you may not feel comfortable repairing your guitar, but you can at least diagnose it and figure out what it is. So the first thing I would get is a straight edge. Now, I'm cheap, so I just took a yardstick that's 1/8 thick, and I cut it at 18 inches because that gives you the distance from the first fret to the last fret on a Strat. And the straight edge will help tell you, your neck straightness, your relief, and that's something I'll get into in a minute. But it's an invaluable tool because this edge is, in all purposes, straight. So you're dealing with a straight edge, and this is boss. You know what I mean? You can swear by this. Another thing you can find right at the hardware store too, like some of these are not necessarily only guitar tools. You can make them, or you can buy them at a hardware store. But this is a set of feeler gauges, and they're just different increments of metal gauges, and they will basically tell you the heights that you're working with. They're all labeled with specific heights, so you can get an idea of what you're working with. When you see a measurement, you have the proper gauge to test fit it. Also, this is a fret rocker. I made this, but it's basically meant to measure 3 frets at a time. And how it works is, if you were to have a high fret, you would line this up between frets, the 3 frets. And if that fret in question was high, this would rock. You know what I mean? So that would be, it may be only a little bit, but that'll let you know. Like, see, I obviously just checked all these, so they're straight. And then when you start getting down to where the frets are a more congested area, you change the edge that you want to use. But this is an invaluable tool because you can basically get an idea of what's going on with your guitar. And lastly is like a string action gauge. I use these, and they come with many different measurements. You get them right on Amazon for like $3. But if you ever want to check your string height at the 12th fret, if you want to do like a by the book setup, you just set it up like that and you slide it on the side of the string, and it'll tell you exactly what you got. And like I said, they're great tools. So those are must-haves. But I made a new bone nut for this, and that took care of the problems. What happened was, over time, after my hand, I had changed string gauge, and I was using 58 to 11 for so long that the slot kind of was just glazed over, and it favored the 58 to 11 gauge strings, and there was really no way to get the new gauge that I'm using now, which is not a big change, but it's just enough that it becomes finicky. It really didn't allow the string to sit in a tight spot. It would just, if we had an expanded view, the string would sit and it would rattle back and forth like this. So, I made a nut, took me a couple of hours, fitted it in with the current string gauge I'm using now, and we're all set. You know what I mean? So that's that. The $1 million question. Everybody wants to know about pickup height. So I'll change the camera over so I can focus on the pickups, and I can talk about it a little bit. So when addressing pickup height, Fender has their standard, what they recommend them set at. but I really feel that that's just a general number. You may have a bridge pickup that is really powerful, and you wouldn't want that higher up. These adjustments are made to get the most you can out of the guitar. How I like to start is I'll tune the guitar to pitch, and I'll bring the pickup up until the note starts to become distorted on the tuner, or even audibly, so you can hear the note kind of getting warbly, and that means that the magnet in here is pulling on that, because this is magnetized. And this is my 59 Strat. These are all original windings. The only thing I did have done to this was I had them remagnetized, because 58 years of playing them, they got a little weak. So, going back, when you bring that pickup up, that magnet is now pulling that string so strong because it's so close to it that it's making that note come out of tune. So as soon as I start to hear that, I back off slightly until that goes away. And I do that on each treble side. So now I know that my treble side of my pickups is adjusted at its highest point, where I can get the most touch sensitivity out of it and the most tone, especially being a guy that kind of lately I'm just depending on plugging into the amp, and I'm not really using a lot of effects, just using the amp and maybe a boost and a wah-wah pedal. On the bass side, more than likely your pickups will end up being slanted where the treble side is higher than the bass side. But I don't like a lot of that low end and the big flubby note, so I back them down considerably, so I look something like that. Now, mind you, this is an old Strat, and the pick guard does warp. So that's my height on the bass side, and that's my height on the treble side. There is a slight difference. I don't know if the camera can really pick it up, but with my we'll just use the neck pickup, for example. The bass side is measuring at about 2.5 millimeters, and when you get over to the treble side, it's about 5. So that just shows you the difference. When playing with a fuzz face, some tips for pickups: I like to back the pickups down a little bit to give the string a little room in between, because it can really get boomy, but as far as pickup adjustment, I don't follow any set of rules, because I just feel like that it's like a, if you look at it like a race car or something like that, like you're tuning in the carburetor, and if you want to get a little more, you want to go beyond spec, because spec is great, and that's what we have, but sometimes if you can get a little more edge out of it, that's what I look for, and I just do it my own way. I bring it up till, like I said, till the note starts to distort, and then once I hear that, I bring it back down just till it goes away. And then, like I said, on the bass side, I'll go by ear. You may start running through your pickups, and you want to check and make sure that their volumes and their output are balanced. So say if you have these up and you have them back down just slightly so the note goes away, and your middle pickup is a little weaker output. So in that case, you would back down the neck and the bridge a little more just to get that balanced tone, because nobody wants to be playing in the neck and then you go to the middle and it sounds really quiet. You know what I mean? Or a noticeable difference. So I choose that. That's how I set them up. I don't do it like I said, the 6:30 seconds, and I don't follow any of that. I just I do it my way. I do all my work, and it's what I like. So it sounds better to me. Sounds better. I shouldn't say that, but it does sound good to me, and I like the touch sensitivity, and I like knowing that how I set them up. When I dig in, I'm going to hear a difference, and when I play soft, when I lighten up the right hand, I hear a difference. So that was, that's basically my pickup setup explained. Obviously, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Going to the right or clockwise is going to bring the pickup up. Going to the left is going to bring it down. And if you hit the string, you've gone too high. And yeah, that's it. That's the setup I use. Also this week, last week's video, I think, was a slide video, and that was a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with my 59 Les Paul Jr., But as I was playing it more, I started noticing some intonation problems at the bridge. I spoke to a few people, and graciously, my buddy Raul and the good people over at Faber Bridges sent me out a Raptonate bridge to try. And I had to, slot the saddles to get the strings to line up, slot it up myself. But I've instantly noticed a straighter bridge. The old badass bridge I had on there was starting to bend. This bridge is nice and straight, solid, and the note. See, I like that right there where it just hangs. So I'm going to start putting this through the paces, but I just wanted to give a mention to those guys because they were really kind and let me try this out, and they said, tell us what you think, and it's really, really cool. It looks great. There's some titanium work in there, and it's got an aged look to it. And if you look on the website, they're not cheap, but they're not way overpriced. They're very comparable to what's out there on the market. But I was very grateful that they helped me out. So check them out if you want, Faber, and I'll post the link down below so you guys can check it out. But that's just that's a couple of tech tips today. You know what I mean? Creeping up on the big 400 subscribers, which is amazing because I do this channel for fun. I don't do it to monetize on it or look for a job. It's just trying to spread the good word. I want to give a shout to my buddy Matt, who last week he had a video he posted up about a 63 Strat, and he got a lot of negative feedback about it. Like I said, I watched his video about a 63 Strat he bought, and there was a lot of negativity in the comments. And I mean, if that's your thing, if you want to piss in somebody's cornflakes and make sure you let them know, something negative, that's fine. But I mean, I think it takes way more energy to be negative towards somebody than if you don't like something to just move on from it, And I'm sure this video will get a dislike because I put that up. I laugh at the dislikes sometimes. On the 63 Strat body reveal, it got disliked. I don't understand why, but I didn't even do any playing in it, so you can't even say it's because my playing was horrible. But anyways, he's trying to buy guitars and he's trying to hustle and, he's trying to sell vintage guitars that need a little work at a good price. I mean, I don't think there's kind of no room for negativity. If we're all here to help each other, we all succeed. The negativity part of it is just, it's really not needed. So there's a look into two guitars that I worked on this week. It's a quick video just talking about some stuff. I love this 59 Strat. I love this 59 Les Paul Jr. And things are good. So I hope everybody has a good Sunday and is kind to one another and treat yourself right. Thanks for stopping in. Leave a comment below for a future video suggestion, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe because I really want to keep doing these. I just need ideas. Peace.